And welcome back. In a borough brimming with untold stories and creative potential, a unique initiative is helping shape the next generation of documentary filmmakers. Through mentorship, hands-on training, and valuable networking, the program equips participants with the skills and resources, helping them advance their careers in documentary filmmaking. Joining me now is the director of the Bronx Documentary Center Film Fellowship, Tania Cypriano. And Tania, good to have you with us.
Hello, thank you for inviting me.
Glad to have you. And, I think it's important that we talk about sometimes documentaries from this perspective that uh, underrepresented when the stories get told in the film industry. And when we think about documentaries from, that perspective, how does that weigh out with you? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that for the past from the time that it started, the Bronx Documentary Center was mainly concentrated in photography. But like in 2019 they started this program, and I think that with the intention was really to give a voice to young filmmakers or young folks in general, like that would be interested in being documentary filmmakers. The importance is, I think, that nobody can tell, like people will say, nobody can tell your story the way you can tell yourself. Of course, when the program started, it was specifically for filmmakers from the Bronx, although now we also accept some filmmakers from throughout the city, but that are curious or that want to have a dialogue and will tell stories that are specifically happening in the Bronx with participants from the Bronx. This year is a good example. But to answer, I mean, I don't know if I'm answering your question exactly, but I think that it's incredible because, like, we see films like, just like last year I was part of the Doc NYC, um, which is a big documentary festival that happens in the city, and I was part of the jury, and like looking at films that are being shot and made in our city. So few were made in the Bronx. So the importance of the program is not only, I think, for the people who are telling the stories, but also for all the for the population of the Bronx to be featured in stories, like out there when we're talking about New York, and New York City.
Yeah. So we got film fellowship and film fellows and the opportunity for people to really become a fellow. And that gives them an opportunity to, and I use the word opportunity 3 times because that's the key major word. It gives them a chance to really take advantage of, of a well-placed, uh, and centered environment where you can learn about film, make a film, find out the goings on in a film. So for people who are a part of this fellowship, how do you define it?
Yes, I think that a lot of our fellows are coming like from, I'm not, like they just finished college, right? And they still need some support to get them to be on the other side. And what I feel that our program does, which is very different than other places, is that it not only gives the education and the technical, like help young filmmakers to get technical, like to learn technical skills, but also we help them make their first short film. And if it's a very much of a one-to-one, it's a very supportive environment because our group is very small. We usually accept, 4 to 8 filmmakers a year within the program. And, and they really have within our small classes, they get to not only to be able to be heard, but also yeah, it's just a very, very more intimate one-to-one experience. They go through the process of the first part of the program. Even if they've gone to school and they've learned some of these things, we will review like the skills of, like, learning how to do camera and sound and editing. um, and then they all come with an idea for a project, or, like, or hopefully like with a work in progress of a project that then we help them be, like, with mentorship and support to complete. As you will see, for example, with the films that we're presenting this coming Sunday, or meaning, like, this at the end of the fellowship fellows get to also have a public screening within our beautiful space in the Bronx, and where the community gets together and get to watch the films. But there's also another element that we have introduced to the program, that we bring, our fellows from, we take our fellows from the Bronx and bring them into spaces like in the city, including museums and film festivals, and even with partnerships that we have made in the recent years to private screenings that have to do with Oscar campaigns. So they also get to go and see films and meet filmmakers and people in the industry. They get introduced to that world. And also we bring a lot of people from other, not just New York, but from other parts of the world within the walls of the Bronx Documentary Center to, you know, talk about their experiences, either being like a cinematographer or a filmmaker or an editor. So it's a great way also, like, for young filmmakers that want to, because we all know that in this world of films, of the arts in general, it's about your education, it's about your creativity, it's about your focus, your ambition, but also it has to do with making connections. So all these partnerships that we have been making lately, it's also they're quite important. um, and the last thing that I want to say is also an element that we bring in, which is mentorship, where each fellow gets to dream, to say who would be their dream mentors. And and we many times we do get that one, either filmmaker or editor or whatever, to be able to work with them within the last stages of the fellowship and help mentoring them or they're making their films. We've had like some really pretty incredible people, and have today with some of our fellows, that are accompanying them.
If somebody's out there saying, listen, how could I become? What's the criteria for me to become potentially a fellow? Your answer?
Yes. I think it would be for you. Well, we have open call, which is starting like next month, and it goes all the way to end of July. And what we ask is, like, for you to describe why you want to be part of this program. And you do have to show some background, like or either on education or on work, like just like we do require that you come with some introduction already to. But I think that thinking about the Bronx in their hearts and the stories that are in the Bronx, and also bringing in, like, we wanted to see your intention to learn about the skills. I think it's very important, as even as directors, and this is something I tell all of our fellows. Within the world today, you may want to be a director, and you want to go up there and already start from the top. But it's very important that you learn all of the technical skills into making a film, because you can only be a good director if you know what the cameraman really does. And you're going to learn about, if you learn how to do camera, you can do that better. And the same thing goes on with sound recording or with editing. I think that, being a producer and a director, it requires you to, like, if you learn how to do all of these different things, then you learn. And so it's important for us to see that, like, young people that are applying for the program, that they are willing to learn, and that they want to learn, that they understand the importance of being a whole filmmaker, not just going for one thing.
And there's also a very special opportunity for those who are from the Bronx. I know there's a priority being given when you think about becoming a fellow. So, real quickly before we go, can you share, as somebody's applying, if they're from the Bronx, how that works in the application scheme?
I We get, like, last year we got, what was it, like 58 applications. I think that it is, if you are from the Bronx, we will look at your application most seriously, because we do want to keep the program within the Bronx. But I think it's you coming up with ideas, and also kind of like not proving, but just explaining the access you have to those stories. Because sometimes people will have like great ideas, but once they start to go after that idea, like they'll find that it's very difficult to find people that want to talk about something or places that will let you film. So I think it's important that you have some understanding of what it takes. That's what I'm. Why we also look into the people who are applying to have some background, so they can already understand the importance of access. Like you might have a great idea but not access, and that will not get you to make your films.
Right.
In our group this year, we have a few examples of people that came with ideas and that it went through, and others didn't. But if you come in with idea already knowing that you can go into those spaces, and I know if you're from the Bronx, you will know a lot more about how to tell the story from the Bronx.
Yeah. Well, Tanya, we have to leave it there. Thank you so much for sharing with us, and congratulations to those who are going to be participating in the Bronx documentary, and then also those who are coming as new fellows. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
All righty.
We hear from young filmmakers.
Yes, yes. And I'll
Thank
tell
you.
our viewers again, if you want more information, go ahead and visit the website at bronxdoc.org. That's DOC, bronxdoc.org. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Open coming up right after this.